Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I decided to use a microphone because I listened to the audio of my last video and it was pretty terrible. And whilst I'm okay with the iPad front camera problems, I was not okay with the audio. So yeah, hopefully I'm able to sync this and the video will be much better quality. Thank you again for the views that I got and the likes that I got. I realized I had disabled my comments somehow, but hopefully I have fixed that issue. And so now if you have anything to say, please feel free to comment, any feedback or any thoughts. So welcome back to Personal Ramblings. If you're new here, this is just a space for me to talk about the things that I've been thinking about because I think a lot. And it's Personal Ramblings because I'm kind of centering it around myself, my life and my experience. I hope to be like a writer someday, and I realized to be a writer I have to be able to express myself and give my own personal viewpoints, perspectives and opinions to make my writing more interesting, more engaging, and to allow it to have more of my own voice. And I'm hoping as I continue writing and speaking, at the very least I'll be able to improve on my skills and improve my comfort of expressing myself in this way. So without further ado, I'm just going to go straight into the topic for today. And what I wanted to talk about is my experience chasing rejection and failure in my 20s. And then the subtitle, because I also post these on Substack. This is also a blog. This is just the video version. But yeah, the subtitle for this on my blog, Personal Ramblings on Substack, is because opportunities are designed, not just found. So right now I'm 23, graduate, unemployed. That's how I start every video, and I've had a lot of time to myself to think and reflect all the things I've studied, who I want to be, what I want to do, how I'm going to get there. So this was when I didn't come up with the idea. I was inspired by something when I was on my usual doom scrolling and bed rotting mood on TikTok, and I came across somebody sharing how they would be aiming to achieve 1,000 rejections in the year 2026. And this really piqued my interest because I'm not a stranger to applying for things that I think I'm unqualified for or that I think I won't get, but I've never strategically aimed for those kinds of things, if that makes sense. It's more of like on a whim, I just go for it if I want to. But this challenge, when I went down the rabbit hole and I found the original creator, Gabrielle Carr, on TikTok, I saw that this is actually aiming to get as many rejections as you can, which I think is a bit of a different mindset. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. So some of the rejections that I'd seen people were chasing was emailing a law firm or chatting up somebody at law firm and just asking for any placements or jobs that they might have, or reaching out to record labels and A&R people to see if they're going to listen to your demos, or just networking with people, whether that's in real life or online, who maybe you would have been too scared to approach before because it's like, oh, they're probably going to say no, or there's nothing, but you just do it anyway because now rejection is actually what you're aiming for. So it's kind of changing your metric of success by aiming for failure. So I feel like on first thought, when you hear about chasing rejection specifically, it can feel really pointless because why would I aim for people to just say no? Because then I'm stuck in the same place as I was before. But when I continued to think about it and the thought, danced around in my mind, I realized that when you chase rejection, you design opportunities. And by that, I mean, you're actually more than just creating an opportunity, you're shaping what you want your opportunities to be. So a lot of the time when I think about myself and who I'd want to be, I would hope to be one of those people who I post once and I go viral and my videos are everywhere and like I'm just like some miracle story of success, or like I get cast on the street to be the next big thing, even though like I look very normal when I'm on the street. It's lucky if I look nice on the street. But yeah, just those thoughts of just being lucky, being chosen with things that would invade and arrest my mind. That's what I wrote, and I like the invade and arrest, so I decided to say it as well, even though it sounds a bit cheesy and dramatic. But anyway, so yeah, these would literally plague my mind. But after I saw the 1,000 rejections model, the 1,000 rejections aim, it shifted my mindset a bit. It changed my perspective on things because I don't have to wait to be viral to say I'm successful. I don't have to wait until somebody notices my talent to be successful. Like, I don't have to measure myself by the amount of people who recognize me. I don't have to measure myself by external validation. I can just not measure myself at all. And I feel like that's what chasing the rejections is for. It's like, even though I'm posting and maybe nobody will see, even though I'm posting and maybe my music never goes anywhere, even though I'm posting and this could just be a dead end, it's like the fact that I'm posting is designing opportunities in and of itself, because something completely different could just open up and I have this entire bank or this entire base that I've built up by just posting anyway. And actually aiming to fail helps to remove the discouragement of failure, if that makes sense. I'm gonna expand on it a bit more later on. But yeah, I was writing about how if I just connect with someone, if I just message someone, then it's like the fact that they now know my name has already moved me one step forward and has already changed the reality that I'm in. And that's a very powerful thing, because even more doors of possibility open by simply being ambitious and putting yourself out there. So I wouldn't say that I've been a very confident person all my life. I think I've been comfortable with myself, but I've never been somebody who puts themselves out there. I struggled a lot with vulnerability growing up because I always felt like my words would be misunderstood. And so I grew up reading. I would like lose myself in books, in the characters, in the worlds, because it just felt more comfortable than being in the world that I'm in now. And then as I grew up, I kind of moved on to writing, because losing myself in worlds was one thing, but I actually wanted to express. I wanted to bring out the things I was feeling and maybe find people who connect with me. But even if I don't, just by writing, I feel like I understand myself a lot more. And I publish my work. I post videos, I post my songs on TikTok. I've started this blog. But when you first start off, especially if you don't have connections or anything, or you're doing it on your own, it can be really hard to put in so much work and see almost zero return. And like, I don't get paid for this. I don't have readers. I don't have regular viewers, fans, whatever. But I just continue to write anyway. I continue to post anyway. And now that I'm starting to think of this as chasing failure instead of hoping for success, it's like, even though nobody is watching, I continue anyway, because I'm not measuring myself by success anymore. I'm measuring myself by how many things I can put myself forward for, or I'm just not measuring myself at all. I'm just doing what I like. And the opportunities, when they come, they will be shaped by the things that I've done. And I gave an example of like Charlie XCX and Zara Larsson, because big pop culture moments. We had Brat Summer, and now we're going into the midnight sun, where summer isn't over yet, because the sun doesn't go down, so you're just partying all night. Zara Larsson summer. Anyway, I bring them up to make a point about success, because I remember when Fancy by Charlie XCX was a huge thing, and Boom Clap for the Fault in Our Stars movie was a huge thing, and Charlie XCX was a huge name. But then there was sort of like a quiet period, and it's not that she wasn't successful. She's been extremely successful in the hyperpop space, but she wasn't as mainstream as she's now become after Brat Summer, because that was huge in a pop culture defining moment. And Zara Larsson the same. I'm in the UK, so Lush Life, Symphony, I think it's Never Forget You. Those songs, huge on the radio. We love our pop radio girls in the UK. But yeah, but then afterwards, she had a bit of a slow period as well, where she still had a few hits, but it wasn't like how they were hitting before. And it's not like how she's popping off now. And it's like, what I recognize about those two is that even though the external validation was quiet, they were still producing, they were still creating in spite of whatever numbers they were pulling. And like, maybe they don't actually care about the numbers, and they just want to make music. They just love it. And I think that's great. And also, like, as I said, that even if they weren't like mainstream big numbers for a bit, they were still successful in their own rights. But I feel like a reason why now that they seem so stable and were able to hit the ground running as soon as an opportunity came is because they never stopped running. And because they have that foundation that they worked, they were able to continue putting out music and continue elevating themselves, even if it wasn't the massive returns of before or the returns that they expected. They were able to design this opportunity to be perfect for them so that when it came, they could just grab it and continue and just flourish. Well, yeah. So, yeah. That's my, I don't know if it's an analogy. Maybe it's an analogy. Anyway, I'm going to bring it back to myself. So right now, I feel like I'm in a bit of a slow period in life where it's like I've done my degrees, I've done internships, I've had huge, like super noisy parts of my life, I've had some published work and everything. But right now, I'm kind of in a pause period, like waiting for an ADHD assessment, applying for jobs, spending time with my family, reconnecting with hometown friends. That's kind of where I am at the moment. So it's not very like fast paced, like traveling around the world, publishing my work, whatever. But even though it'd be so easy for me to give up right now, I just know that I can't. I have to create anyway. And it's kind of related to my last video of creating art in silence, creating art that nobody will see. And I've decided that I'm not going to measure myself by how much I grow numerically or how much return I get, but I'm just going to aim to fail. I'm just going to aim to just pursue any idea that comes to me, whether it's a believable one or not, whether it's a possible one or not. I'm just going to go for it because anyway, there is something to learn. Anyway, I'm building up a base for something, and anyway, I am now designing opportunities for myself. And that's where I am at the moment. So I'm hoping, like, as I go on to make YouTube videos, TikTok content, songs, whatever it is I want to do, as I continue creating and putting things out there, I want to be more bold, sign up for things that I might not be 100% ready for, pitch myself to publications that are my dream to be in, even though I'm not qualified to be there yet, and build up those connections and just become more comfortable with failure. And I wrote here, there's no better way to become comfortable with something than doing it intentionally and repeatedly until it becomes normal, until it no longer phases you. So that's how I sort of understand chasing rejection and chasing failure. You're becoming comfortable with rejection and failure so they no longer faze you when you want to pursue something. And I think that's a really powerful way to move forward and to design the reality that you want for yourself and to design better opportunities for yourself. So yeah, that's it for this episode of Personal Ramblings. Hopefully I'm able to sync the audios. I'm also hoping to make these a bit more personal and in-depth in the future and just be more laid back and get more comfortable talking to the camera, talking to the mic. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you.